Welcome back to the third episode of Mindless. Today we're continuing our topic from before because we just talked about it 10 minutes ago because we're filming this all on the same day. So today's topic is going to be weird middle school stories. So we're going to have Eva start with another riddle. Go ahead.
Y'all are welcome. I changed.
You took your sweatshirt off. That's hardly changing.
Okay, so our riddle. I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings. What am I?
A really bad Sims world?
Yes! No, I'm kidding.
You're not wrong. Wait. What was the first one?
I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings. What am I?
A zombie apocalypse.
Well, what? Do you think all of the water just disappears from lakes during a zombie apocalypse?
I don't know.
So wait, so it's lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings?
Answer of just a really bad sim world. That sounds so accurate.
It is accurate. Honestly, that's the correct answer.
That's the only right answer.
I'm the smartest.
Wait, is it actually?
That's true. No.
No!
Oh,
That'd be such a weird
yeah.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
I'm so bad at winking.
Everyone's
Wait,
like
does
subtle
it
and then
wanna-
they're sitting over here like looking like she has something in her eyes.
I can't wait, just like, you sort of like, if you wink back and forth with both eyes consecutively, it looks really weird, just like,
I can do it with my eyebrows. I have no idea. So you guys go ahead. I don't have any.
you're not even gonna try? Come on.
trying, but I don't have a brain cell.
None of us do. We're all in the same boat.
A graph. A map.
Yeah, it's a map.
Nice. Alright, so we have 1 point for me, 1 point for Seneca. Let's see if you can get the riddle for the third one.
Hopefully I just know the riddle for the third one, honestly, because I can't figure this stuff out.
You know it. I probably know it.
I've heard a good deal of riddles in my time.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I do
avoiding
too.
the one where the poison is in the ice. You know that one?
Oh yeah, that's a common one.
The what?
It's like, so the riddle is like, two men walk into a bar. They sit down. They're each given the identical drink.
I know.
One has with ice, one doesn't have ice.
That's like the pill one. You got 2 pills. You both eat it. One of them dies because of the water.
So who wants to start?
Oh, so we had.
So,
What was it called? Every Friday we had like myths or whatever, where we wrote essays about ourselves and describe it, and you just basically had to guess the person.
wait. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. In 8th grade. And we would do that like before every test, right? And people would just get candy and just throw it at each other. It was always easy for me to guess because like I'm the only one that fences. So like
Oh,
basically,
you mean it was easy for people to guess you?
yeah. And like every time some people would like get repeated because we didn't have enough people, right? And like every
not
time,
repeated.
yeah,
Did
no,
they?
some people did get,
Oh.
yeah. What was that? What are those faces?
Yeah.
That'll be fun to edit.
Whoa.
dude.
And
Just
so
do a
basically,
Just do a slow zoom of me chomping on Cheerios, just like.
I don't think that'd be
That
very
was so
pleasant.
loud. I don't know if that was
I
purposely.
actually
Y'all went silent just for you, Heather.
I'm doomed myself. I should just stop. I should just. There.
Oh.
I have one story really. That's nothing happened in that class. He switched seats like every day, and it was awful. And he would assign projects and.
Oh my goodness! One time I used to have to sit with the certain guys that you didn't want to get a seat next
Of
to.
course,
Like,
yeah.
no offense if you're listening, you know who you are and exactly why. I would get
It's
seats
all
for
of
those,
them.
and I'd be
What are
like,
you
at
talking
least I
about?
only have to sit with them like for like 1 hour, and then we're done. I don't have to sit with them tomorrow.
Wait, what?
Oh, because we'd switch seats every day because he'd pass
Yeah.
out cards and be like, "Oh, that's where you sit," but like everyone's like, "No, I don't care. I'm sitting there anyways."
Oh, that
I
was,
know, they'd
that
all
was, was that?
Yeah.
Because I remember. Okay, I remember. There were like, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
censored
because
again.
Oh, you have to cut his name.
Oh
Yeah,
no! I've done it again.
Just keep going. It's fine. We can just cut it out.
Yeah, 7th grade math teacher and 8th grade math teacher. Because I remember for
Guys,
what?
with a coin. That's touch screen.
Did you say die?
Did you just say
Sure.
me with a coin?
I heard die.
Move
Where I was
the
like, what?
screen with the coin. Revolutionary.
What do you
Anyway,
mean?
move on.
Move the screen with a coin. Whatever. Anyway, so 7th grade math teacher. In 7th grade, there were there were only 7 girls. We got a new girl came in 8th grade, so then there were 8 girls. But there were only 7 girls, and since there were 8 tables, our 7th grade math teacher made a specific point when assigning table seats to have 1 girl per table. So we were all like, whenever it was free choice to sit, we would all like clump together and all sit together. But but he would always assign 1 girl per table, and so it'd just be one of us, and then just like a bunch of guys, which I suppose is fine. But I didn't know like many of the guys in that class, so I was like, I don't know these people. I mean, I knew the math. I by the time math, I was stuck with them for 2 years, right? So by the time 8th grade was over, I knew them.
There were like days where he would just be like, "Okay, everybody."
I know. I know. It's okay. Go.
I'm sorry.
Just go. Just go.
It's fine. Wait, one
They were
sec.
just like, "You good?" Okay. They were just okay. So there
I'm
were
sorry.
just days where he'd get really pissed off and be like, "You guys aren't doing anything," and he would force us to sit down, not talk or get up, and he'd just be like, "These are the problems. Do that. After you're done, do your homework." And I remember there's this one time where like he's like, "If you stand up, I will give you lunch detention." I remember I like needed to go to the bathroom or something, and I completely forgot about what he said. So I went up to him and I was like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And he's like, "You just stood up." And I was like,
Oh
I didn't
shoot.
actually get lunch detention for the record, but I was like, "Oh my goodness." At the time I was
Yeah.
freaking out. I was
Because
like,
you were like a good student, so he's probably like, oh, just let her go to the bathroom.
But like,
Yeah.
I never ended up giving anyone lunch detention that day. I think he just
no,
wrote
he
the names
did.
down.
He gave
No,
like
I
one of
think-
them a lot.
He gave one kid like 10
Yeah.
detentions within that year.
I think also remember there was it just had like some severe water damage, but he told people it had been dumped in the toilet, the textbook.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you're late, you get the toilet textbook. You
Yeah.
have to use the toilet textbook.
Oh my
And
god, we
everyone
were
was afraid of being late because it was really
Yeah.
gross. And no one wanted to use it or touch it or like look at it
I-
or be around
I think someone
it.
actually had it.
I'm sorry.
There was this one time where the math teacher was gone, so we had a substitute, and it was this really short woman, and she kind of had like mushroom hair.
Was it
She was like a
7th
mushroom
or 8th grade?
Mario.
Yeah, was the 7th
Yeah.
grade good?
I think it was 8th grade. I'm pretty sure.
Alright.
Yeah, this was 8th grade. Anyways, there was this really, really tall, like we had this really tall student. Like he was so tall, like probably like 6 feet or more, probably more, honestly. Anyways, we had him go up and just like ask her questions just so we could see the height difference, and it was great.
That's so mean.
Like he went up and just like asked to use the bathroom or something, and she didn't like know that. She was like, she could just see a little bit of fear. He was like, oh my god, twice the size of her, I swear. So that was fun.
Oh, I just had this one memory of 6th grade. She was teaching us force, and she tried pushing the damn wall.
I remember that. She's like, I can't win.
No, so freaking hilarious. And then she had another student try to show it and push the wall as well. And then I think at one point she tried picking him up, and she strained her back doing it.
I just remember we were like learning about what is it? I don't know. She just picked up a balloon for one time. She started
wait,
rubbing it against the kid's hair.
Melanie's just dipped, guys.
No, I know.
Melanie's left.
She said something and then she left.
So our 8th grade math class, there was this one image in a textbook of a person called Free to Function for the math
I'm
problem.
trying to find it.
And I found it really creepy, and for some reason I think someone
Really
caught
creepy.
on to the fact that I thought it was really creepy and decided to print out photos of it, and I think it said like the face of beauty or something like that. Okay, don't
Wait,
mind the help.
Seneca, do you have a picture of it?
I'm gonna try and find it.
Why did
But-
you move to the other side of your room to try and find the picture?
Because it's one of my binders and I don't want to.
Oh, it's in something. I thought you were still looking at like whatever you're looking at before. You just decided to sit in a different place to do it. I might wait.
Oh.
I'm curious. I'm curious
Me
what I'm
too.
curious what will happen if I just Google free to function.
Oh my god, wait, I know, I
So-
definitely have it. One sec. This is the edited version with the freaking text and everything.
Oh, it's
This
all
is
blurry.
not
You have to-
copyrighted.
It's all blurry. You have to turn off
Is it
the
copyrighted?
background blur.
Because they made it for the textbook.
I don't know.
if it is.
Oh shoot.
But
Maybe
we,
don't show it.
oh, it's
Oh,
okay.
damn it, but I
Like a
want to
little
show it.
booklet.
Yeah, show it. It's okay if we get flagged for copyright, we can blur it out.
That's true.
Yeah, I've seen the face of Beauty's the text added on. But it was really creepy. Yeah, it's like it has demented Miss Frizzle vibes.
It's been like
Everyone
2
just
years.
bullied
You
me
just still
about it,
kept
and I did not appreciate it. Like some other people found it like creepy too, and told me like, "Hey, I agree with you." It's sort of kind of creepy, but no one did anything about it except me. So one day they just started like printing these out, and like some people would have it, or they would put it in the textbook, or they would show me the textbook where the person's face was, and it just got really creepy. And at one point, I think Seneca even started to help them when they did the rectangle thing, where they lined up all the textbooks on the exact same page where that person was, and started lining up the textbooks around the
Yeah.
table so that it made a rectangle like outline of it.
Didn't they
And
make a
there's just a face.
spiral, a rectangle shaped spiral out of the textbooks? I think they did
Yeah,
that.
they were
It wasn't
stacking
a
it on top
spiral.
of
It was
each
just on. It was just an outline of
No,
it.
I thought it
No.
spiraled inwards. Like it was an outline, but then it kept going.
No, they like
Anyways.
stacked it on top of each other, so it will always be on that page only.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see the other pages. You just see the picture of it.
It was just a
And the only
spiral of the creepy picture, yeah.
The only reason why I helped was because it was on my table. Wait, there's no
So-
way it's copyrighted, right? Because there's an entire merch line of it. There's a
Wait.
website for it.
Yeah, there is a
That's-
website for that. If
That's
it hasn't
that.
taken
You know who
time.
I'm talking about. You know who
Yeah.
made that one. Okay, so that was one of the things that they did during the year. It was sort of kind of creepy, and I would try to take away the textbooks, but I was one person taking it away, while like 4 people were collecting the textbooks from everyone and putting them on the table. Meanwhile, our 8th grade teacher was sitting at his chair with his feet up on the desk, looking at his phone, I believe. Right.
Well, he
And-
noticed. He just didn't really care. He thought it was. I think he thought it was a little
Funny,
odd and mildly
actually, yeah.
amusing because it was. It was like
No,
that's weird, but in kind of a funny way. So
No,
I think
really.
he was just sort of like, haha, funny students, and just
No,
like
no.
kept on doing whatever he was doing.
That's for sure. Because like at one point he took one of the prints out and like someone just like put it up on the board, like where the door is.
Mhm.
Someone just
It
pinned
stayed
it
up
up.
there. It
Yeah,
stayed
he
up there the
didn't
rest of the
care.
year. It was
Yeah.
like whatever.
Oh yeah, I checked
Didn't someone
back
draw it on
during
the
freshman
whiteboard
year.
at
It
one
was not
point?
there freshman year, thank goodness.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was
disappointing.
probably purged in the cleaning of the room. Didn't someone draw it on the whiteboard at some point though?
I
Like
think
the
so.
yeah, I think they did, which is impressive. It was like a pretty good copy of it too.
So, so one of them they printed out the photo but just the face, and they made it really big. And then they printed out and they cut out the eye holes and like a
Eye
nose
holes.
hole, and they
Nose
decided to
hole.
like
A nose
tape
hole.
Just singular.
Just one
You have
hole.
one nose.
Wait, so they cut out a hole for them to stick their own nose through the mask?
No, just to breathe.
Oh, that's
This is
like
a
a
piece of
nostril hole, not a nose hole.
Just like a cutout of a triangle.
Anyways, so they did that, and then they had a piece of paper taped to each side so it would fit correctly on their head. So these 2 people were like skiing around in the corner, and I was doing my work. or
Skiing?
some-
That's like dedication right there.
Scheming.
Scheming.
I thought you said
Scheming.
skiing around the corner. I was like,
Ooh, fun.
what? Sorry. Anyway, go on.
So then once I realized, I was like really disturbed because they'd keep looking in my direction to make sure I would make contact with their little mask situation they had going on. And at one point I got really fed up with it. So I made this master plan. And I was like, hey, to the 8th grade math teacher, I was like, can I go use the restroom? He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So as I walk over there, the person that's like wearing the mask, he was right next to the door. And as I grabbed my hall pass, I like walked out. And when they thought I was outside, I came back in and I ripped the mask right off and I threw it in the trash. And then I left to go to the bathroom. I didn't actually have to go. I just left because I didn't want to deal
It'd
with
be
their nerves.
awkward otherwise.
Yeah. So then when I
Just
come
stand
back,
there.
this was the worst part. When I come back, one of my friends that were there, hopefully he's not listening to this, he was like, he went into the teacher and he was like, if anyone else would have done that, you would have given them attention. I was like, what? Like,
Huh?
they're harassing me with photos of this creepy, like, character from a book, and I took the mask off
Well,
after,
the way
like,
you
20
describe
minutes of
it,
staring at it.
the way you
And one of my
describe it
friends is gonna
is
rat me out and be like, if it was anyone else, you would have given her attention. And I was
yeah,
like,
that's no good. Although to be fair, the way you described it was just like I ripped it from his face.
oh no,
which
I
is
did,
a
and he
little.
deserved it, and I would do exactly the same thing if I was.
He deserved it, and I would do it again.
Look, you guys know who I'm talking about.
You gonna
Yeah,
put
I
a knife
made
on it
no
next time?
contact with the face. I took it here and it went, because it was like
Maybe
stapled,
he
so it
worked
was really
hard on
easy to
that.
take off.
Maybe he worked hard on that
Staple.
mask. Yeah,
It
what, to
was like
his head?
stapled to the
Just
side
like.
of it.
No,
No, there's a piece of
that's an awful
paper
mental
with
image.
the mask that goes behind the head.
Oh.
So they
Mhm.
stapled this little strip of paper, and I was like, I got really fed up, so I ripped it off, and I don't regret it in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, I think I just remember stealing all the pens from Melanie. I have so many pencils. You want them back, by the
Broke a
way?
couple too, just for no
Yeah,
reason.
I broke them right in front of you as well. I was like,
I
yeah,
was
I
just
want
like,
to
I
break
don't
a
really need that
pencil.
one. A part of it was broken
Yeah.
anyway. It's fine.
You want it back though? No, wait, no, I can't. I gave it to someone else.
You'd steal that one black gel pen that I had. I had like
I
two
still
at
have
one,
it.
and you
That
stole
I
both of
actually
them.
still have. It's a good pen. I still have it.
I remember in 8th grade, one of the girls would bring a big bag of gel pens to school, and I would always use those to like doodle on my hand during class. Now I can just draw on my hands with skin-safe pens, but back then I didn't have any. And the gel pens show up really well on skin, like they wash off really easily because of the way that they are. Because if you like try and write on your skin with like a regular pen, it won't work very well most of the time.
Yeah.
Like you'll get some ink out, but not enough to have like a good like actual piece of art on your arm.
So in 6th grade, one of my electives, we have like a wheel, and so every few weeks, you like change a different class. And so we were in the Greek mythology unit, and the teacher was explaining the meaning of Achilles' heel. And when he did it, he used an example. He was like say if my Achilles' heel was like women who were tall and like tan with dark hair, and he looked right at me when he said it, and I felt so uncomfortable. I was like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And then even afterwards, one of the girls was like, "Oh, Eva." It was all a joke, though. I know it was a joke, but that class was a lot of fun, anyways. Did you guys have Greek mythology?
Yeah, I remember one time he was talking about. I can't remember the exact what her name was because Greek names are long and complicated.
Persephone.
It wasn't Persephone. It was like this story about
Which one's that?
it was the golden apple story, I think. But it was like
Persephone?
Persephone is the one that Hades like low key kidnapped. She's the goddess of spring
Yeah.
and also queen of the underworld. Like halftime, that's why winter is a thing.
I like that
Because
definition.
Demeter is sad and makes everything real snowy and everything. It was like the story about the golden apples or whatever. I can't remember, but like sort of one of the main focus points of the story was that there was like one girl that all of the male gods and like the demigods or whatever, they all like really wanted to like be her boyfriend or whatever. When and this was a story I was familiar with, right? So when the teacher asked why were all of these guys so infatuated with her, and I raised my hand and I was like, she was pretty. And he was like, that's the understatement of the year. She was pretty. She was like drop dead gorgeous. Which is why, because that was the whole point of the myth was that she was like the most beautiful woman to have ever like existed or whatever. So all the guys wanted to like get with her.
So for graduation, I remember we had like this one day where we'd go up, like for during 6th period or something like that, and we were practicing like how to walk in, where you're gonna sit, when to go up. And I remember like Seneca was there too because we were at the end of the alphabet. We'd play telephone like during it.
I remember that.
And they
I
were
love
so
that.
inappropriate though, so I can't say what we had to say
Wait,
for
no,
the
it didn't even
telephone,
get
but
that
it'd be making fun of one person, and then
bad.
it would go through like 20 people. And I think we also did it. We tried to do graduation day, but it was just too loud, so we couldn't. But that was it made it fun because everyone else was just sitting around bored and like it was we were all cramped, so you'd be sweaty and
It
stuff.
was so
No,
boring.
it wasn't even that. It wasn't even sweaty for us because we sat in the back and the door was open
Oh
the
yeah, the
entire
door
time
was
and it was
open for us though.
hella windy and we were in the very back row. So it's just a
Mhm.
bunch of wind just hitting you and it's
Mhm.
just freezing cold.
Mhm.
And then you had to like remember how like you had to go up the podium and actually go outside and
Yeah.
you had to take a photo. It was awful because like my hair was like all messed up because of how windy it was and they just like,
Yeah.
pointed the camera at me and like take a photo. I'm like, okay.
I know, they took one, they're like, boom, next, go away. And you're like,
I
okay.
know.
You just have your paper knife to hold and you're like, ah.
Like, okay,
I
okay,
never got
I'll
the
twist
photo in the
my arm
back.
then.
You didn't?
You didn't?
They forced me. I didn't want to. I kept walking.
Yeah, so one time in 6th grade, we went to outdoor ed, and I remember our cabin leader, they were like, we were about to go like see some activity, and she was like, oh, wait, can someone go back in and turn off the lights in the cabin? And I was like in the back of the line, so I just did it. I went and I like went through and I turned off the light and I turned around, it's gonna get dramatic, and I felt like a ninja because suddenly I couldn't see and there was everyone's bags everywhere, so I had to like stumble. I did trip. Of course, you know me.
Very
I did trip.
ninja-like.
Like, ah, and then when I got out though, they had like started walking. Like she just straight up left. So I just had to like run up, and then I was like, told my friend, I was like, I got lost and tripped. Anyways, yeah, really
I
short
remember.
story.
I don't remember much from outdoor ed, but the one thing I do remember is that our counselor was she was very nice. Our entire cabin was pretty good. We had a good cabin. I'm sorry. There's just one strand of hair that's being blown by your fan, Neva. And it's very amusing. Um, but so uh, I think it was like at the evening of the first day, and she looked at me, uh, and she said, there's something strangely familiar. Like I can't place it, but there's something like strangely familiar about you. Like I don't think I've ever met you before or anything." And I was like, "Oh, you might know my sibling. Their name is Charlie." And they were like, "Oh my god," because apparently them and Charlie were like really good friends. And my voice sounds a lot like Charlie's voice. And I talk a lot like them too. I just because I lived with them for years, so I sort of picked up their speech patterns, mannerisms, or whatever. And they were like, "Oh my goodness, you're kidding!" And I was like, "No, yeah, Charlie's my sibling. Well, we're siblings." And she was like, "Well, that's so that's so crazy. That's so weird." She was very surprised. But I thought that was sort of amusing
Did she just not
because
accept it? She's like, no, you're not.
no,
She's like, no, you're lying. No, no
you're
way,
lying.
no way.
It can't
well,
be.
well, no,
Crazy.
yeah, because she was like, that's what it is. Because my voice sounds not exactly, but it sounds very similar to Charlie's voice. And I don't look too much like Charlie anymore, just because like personal style choices or whatever. But I
Oh.
looked a little bit more like them back then, enough that you could sort of see a resemblance. That we were family or whatever. So once I told her, she was like, "Oh my goodness, that makes a whole lot of sense." But I just found it super amusing. That was like I talked to Charlie about it later. The thing that I found most amusing is that my counselor wasn't like just someone who knew Charlie. Like they weren't just acquaintances. Like they were genuinely friends.
First day of school, 8th grade. I hated it cause school. So basically, it was the end of the day. We were walking, and so there were this huge platform, plain area, between the math hall and the rest of the classes, and we were just walking by so we can like go to one of you
Parking lot.
guys' locker or something.
Oh,
And
okay.
my brother and his friends walk by. He looks at me, gives me a thumbs down. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Eva turns to him, gives him a middle finger on the first day of school.
Wait, I thought he did an L.
Wait, was it an L? Yeah, it was an L, my bad.
I
He
just
did
I
give me an L.
it's sort of amusing to just your brother walks up to you and is just like that's so.
I mean, it's like a same effect. Thumbs down, L, whatever. He gave me something. Eva just flipped him off. Did you think it was directed at you or something?
I guess I must have. I don't. I just saw like in the distance, just a long finger. I'm like, oh my god, he's flipping me off. Seneca, I'll got you. I'll protect you. Let me just flash him one in the back.
No,
Yeah.
so like after that, I just walked to the car. My brother just looked at me. I was like, "You have weird friends." I'm like, "I know."
I have
like,
great first impressions.
Here's the thing. It wasn't like the first time my brother saw you. There are many times where I walked to the car and you'll be with me because you would like walk the same direction. You just run by and yell his name for some reason, and he'd just be like super uncomfortable, just staring at you like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, no, your brothers never talk to me. It's great.
I know.
Yeah, I think I've only like seen your brother a couple of times when he goes up to talk to you about something.
I've never even seen what her brother looks like, so I have no idea.
You just saw a photo of him like 10 minutes ago.
Like a very close-up photo.
It was beautiful. It's a great photo.
Wait,
I'm sure he will be thrilled that you showed us.
Do you
I don't
want
think
to
he
sneak
cares.
in the Bible story while you're at
Sneak
it?
in the Bible story.
Sneak in some God there, you know?
That's it.
Alright, so my parents are religious, and at a younger age we couldn't go to church anymore because I would always apparently scream and yell in the church when we went.
What? You just disturbed the whole service? My goodness.
Yes, because I apparently hated it. So like we had to stop going. So instead, my mom would just like at night read us stories from the Bible. Like it was like one of those like younger, more child appropriate stories. So it's still like real thick though, you know. So like, so my mom like finished reading it. She gives me the book and she's like, "Put it back." And here's the thing: the bookshelf was like 5 feet away. Instead of doing that, I turned to my brother, who was one at a time and sleeping. I just dropped the book on his head, thinking that he would pick it up and put it back to the shelf. Great.
I love the irony of like physically assaulting your brother with a Bible.
I know, right?
Like it's just
Best object.
it's so poetic.
And like, yeah, actually, no, he has a scar from his head from the time I dropped it on his head. Because he had to go to the emergency room and get stitches because of me. So yeah, every time
Melanie
anyone mentions,
okay?
I know, right?
Is
I know,
she-
I just walked over. Did she freeze?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I think she froze.
Can we cut out my face?
I literally looked over and I'm like, because like Heather laughed, I laughed, and I was
You
gonna do
just
like a
froze
zoom,
and then it
like a zoom
completely.
to Heather, a zoom to me, and then
I
a
would
zoom to
appreciate
Melanie.
you guys
Melanie
filming
so like,
A completely dead expression. Like you look so unamused. Like I was like, do you not
I was
like
laughing
this
the
story?
entire time, but can anyone even see me?
no, I didn't notice until just
I
now when
didn't-
Heather
I
laughed.
didn't-
I laughed.
I didn't hear you laughing too. So I
so
thought you
dead
just didn't like any of the jokes we were making.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't tell.
That's
I'm
very-
always the
I was
one
like
that laughs
looking.
the most. I was like,
I was like,
is it
I was like,
working?
Melanie, blink, Melanie, blink.
Yeah. When I first glanced at you, I was a little bit. I was like, I didn't know whether to mention it or not because you looked like kind of sad, and I was like, is she okay?
Yeah,
Then I looked
I
at
know.
you before, and you didn't move, and I was like, oh no, she's probably frozen.
No, like I
So-
keep closing and opening the
You want
thing.
to turn your visuals back on because I can't see them anymore.
I'm turning
Yeah.
they're on.
Oh.
Oh, that's fine.
Right.
It's
well,
fine. I don't
guess
have
we could
another
just-
story to tell, so you guys just finish it out.
Yeah, that's one of many stories. My brother, I got my nose scar from him though, so I guess we're even.
All is fair in love and siblingship, love and war.
No, no, that doesn't apply at all. There's no love.
Only war
It's only one.
No love.
through
Only-
Bibles.
Well, it's all is fair in love and war, not
Love
all is
and
fair in
religion,
either
am I
love
right?
or war. So it's still all fair.
So in
No, I-
7th grade, we were in the PE unit and we were doing golf in PE, and I just remember looking over across the field and suddenly I just see this golf club go flying and spiraling through the air, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna
I'm
mention
surprised it
any
wasn't
names, but
me.
it was really funny. That same teacher, our 8th grade English teacher, made us write letters of appreciation to other teachers, and I chose that PE teacher. It was kind of awkward because I wasn't even one of her favorites. She didn't really remember me, and she was out that year with a concussion.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
yeah.
It was a little
I remember
awkward,
that.
and I brought up that story. I was like, "Hey, remember when so and so?" It was just really awkward.
Ew.
Yeah, this was not a
Yeah,
good story to end on, but
I can't even remember who I wrote a letter to, if I'm being honest.
I'm pretty sure I wrote it to the 8th grade math teacher.
And yeah, I think I might have wrote it to the 8th grade math teacher.
Wait,
Or-
was it only teachers only? It was only South,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think I wrote it to him.
I can't remember, honestly. I wrote it to one of my teachers.
Alright, so that's it for today's episode of Mindless. I think we're gonna do our third episode next week because we're all tired and like sluggish, and we also have other stuff to do.
And my phone's
So-
about to die.
We can't stay on top
Fun.
to get anything done.
See ya. Well, you already can't see me, but it's fine. Bye.
Bye.